as we do every year, I'm cooking up the perfect Cowboys mock draft / plan, because I got trades in this one, while trying to keep things somewhat realistic. I'm not going to have TreVeyon Henderson falls to the 5th round. I'm not going to do anything too crazy here. In some years, I've nailed some picks. I got the DeMarvin Overshown one right. I also got Puka on day 3 one year. Puka Nakua, that worked out. Nobody went earlier than I actually took him. So it's day 3 is all guess anyway. But it's just fun. It's a fun, ideal for me, perfect mock draft. Now, we will have live NFL draft coverage for you here on the Cowboys Report. All the Cowboys coverage you can want. The picks coming faster, by the way. There's actual analysis of all the picks. No commercials, no stupid interviews. All covered here on the Cowboys Report. So let's say, for starters, the draft plays out like this. Cam Ward goes 1, Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, Will Campbell, Mason Graham, Ashton Genty. No surprises there. Armand Membu. And then I think there's a good chance those are your first 7 picks in that order, by the way. Jalen Walker, I think you want edges off the board for a reason we'll get to in a second here. You need one of the quarterbacks to go. I'll make it Shadur Sanders. In an ideal world, Jackson Dart goes top 10 too. Feels impossible. I don't buy that 3 guys go top 10. We'll put Tyler Warren there at 10. And I think edges early helps you. I'll explain why in a second. Because you're picking at 12. Pick 13 is the Miami Dolphins. Pick 14 is the Indianapolis Colts. 15 and 16, plus the Bengals at 17. They are all looking at edges, with the Falcons and Cardinals in position to take an edge there. The Dolphins and Colts are highly unlikely to take a wide receiver. I'm going to take an aggressive gamble here in round 1 because I want an additional 4th round pick. I can't fill the needs I want to fill without it. I think moving down 3 spots would allow me to still get the wide receiver I want, or insert player here. Falcons might get a little bit aggressive to fill a massive hole at edge. Some edges went earlier. If I can trade down a few spots and pick up a 4th round pick, which does work on the NFL trade value chart from Draft Tech, the updated one, I think that allows me to maximize my draft the way I would like to do so. So the next picks then, Micah Williams at 12, Will Johnson at 13, and Colson Lovin at 14. Now, you run the risk of a team coming up and trading and taking a receiver in front of you. That is the gamble you take by not taking one at 12. But if there are no trades at 13, 14, I don't think those teams are going to take a receiver. They have receivers already. So the ideal scenario is you trade down and you get your number 1 receiver. For me, that's Tetairoa and McMillan. You want to make it Matthew Golden or, T-Mac goes, you get Golden still anyway, that's fine. But I think this is the number 1 receiver in the class. I think he is the most productive one, by the way, which I think sometimes gets ignored a little bit. Back-to-back very strong years of production. Did have a bit of a drop issue this year. There was at times some iffy body language because the team struggled, which, it means he cares. I've seen CeeDee Lamb have bad body language too. Doesn't seem to bother things too much there in the end. I think if you can somehow trade down and get McMillan or insert number 1 wide receiver here, that's a damn good outcome. Who do you want to draft in round 1? Let me know in the comments section of today's show. It's the pinned comment, by the way. So if the ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know. Now, I'm going to say this with an asterisk. This trade worked on PFF's mock draft sim. I think it's very light trade value to give up to go up to 38 and move up 6 spots. I think they probably want that 4th you just gave up, or even your 3rd. But it worked on the sim, so I'm going to allow myself to do it. Because I would love to leave my first 2 picks with T-Mac and TreVeyon Henderson out of Ohio State. And I get it's running back trade up, it's controversial. I don't need, my non-top 150 picks. I've got a bunch of them. I don't have the roster spots. I actually am fine trading those picks away. That does not bother me at all. I don't think he gets past the Bears' 2 second-round picks in round 2. I think if you want him, you have to move up and go acquire him. I think Henderson is the exact type of back this Cowboys team needs. He is explosive. He creates big plays. He can handle, I think, a big work than in Ohio State, but I don't want to give him a huge workload, so he can be in a committee. That's fine. He can pass protect. He can catch. He is my type of ice cream flavor in the backfield. He's above 200 pounds at 5'10". I actually like that combination. 4.43 40-yard dash, great explosive ability, pass protection, pass catching, run blocking, or running game. This is what Brian Schottenheimer described when we asked him at the NFL Combine, what do you look for in a back? That is who he described. So that's my round 2 pick. Round 3, I got to get a corner or a defensive tackle. And I'm going to gamble the DT slide because I want a nose guard. I think I can get a nose guard later. Another one of my preferred players, Jacob Parrish. He offers, I think, inside and outside flexibility and offers fantastic speed. Now, the Combine this year had some issues with arm length and just general inch testing where Jacob Parrish checked in at sub 31 at the Combine, 31 and a quarter arm length at his pro day, which I think is good enough for the Cowboys, especially at nickel. I think you've got, Jason Verrett testing here athletically, minus the fact that he's probably not going to be quite as good as Verrett, but he showcased ball skills. He projects well on the inside for slot duty. Jacob Parrish does a lot of the things I think you want to have out of an inside or an outside corner option. I think he offers those things for you. So if you can add him on day 3 or in the 3rd round, I think that is the perfect type of corner this team needs. Now, today's show is made possible by Game Time. Game Time is the place for last-minute tickets to your next big event, and they make it easier than ever to go get tickets for those hard-to-reach playoff games for NBA or even for MLB and NHL, not too far away either. With killer last-minute deals, all-in pricing, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying NBA playoff tickets. Zone deals let you choose a section, and Game Time picks the seats for big-time savings in the process. Get up to 60% off, but last tickets for sports, but also concerts, comedy, theater, and everything else in between by going to GameTime.co, creating and downloading the Game Time app once you create your account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Now, look, terms do apply. Create your account. Redeem code CHATSPORTS, ChatSports, for $20 off your first purchase. Again, that's GameTime.co, promo code ChatSports. Link will be in the comment section and the description of today's show. Download Game Time today for last-minute tickets, lowest price, all guaranteed. With my extra 4th-round pick, I'm taking Jordan Phillips, the defensive tackle out of Maryland. In an ideal world, I can leave this draft with a number 2 receiver, a number 1 back, a starting caliber corner, and a nose guard to at least help me out a little bit. And that, I think, is what Jordan Phillips offers. The production by no means jumps off the screen, but he wasn't asked to be a big-time pass rusher. And I am not drafting him to be a big-time pass rusher. I am drafting him to be a big body on the interior at 312 pounds and to stop the run. That is what I'm asking from him. The agility is not great, and he doesn't have great lateral agility. It's not a huge surprise. Anyone that's kind of knew that one going into testing there. I think the flashes of actually powerful defensive tackle play are there. I have an early 4th-round grade on him. So will the Cowboys get a 4th-round pick? I would like to acquire one. I think it benefits this team. Why for yes and for no, let me know in the comments section of today's show. Round 5, Elijah Roberts out of SMU. This Cowboys team, they always draft an edge. And this is their bigger body opposite Micah Parsons I think they're kind of searching for. Almost 6'4", 285, 34-inch arms at his pro day. This is unique size for an edge, but I mean, shoot, there were times SMU asked him to stand up on the outside. And relative to his size, he tested pretty decently, all things considered. The shuttle time was not particularly good, which before shuttle time, it was like an 8 on the relative athletic score. Now it's down to 6.82. I don't think he's a very quick player. I think there are some tweener concerns. I got a 4th-round grade on him, so to get him the 5th, I think is proper value. Round 6, pick 204, Nick Martin, the linebacker from Oklahoma State. He is undersized. He's not that big of a player, especially for what the Cowboys have often liked. And he is kind of being overlooked right now because he played 5 games in 2024. He didn't do a ton. 18 TFL, 16 or 8 TFLs. Had production in 2023 though. Bunch of TFLs, sack production. He's a great athlete too. He is undersized. He's under 6 foot. He's 221. Does have almost 32-inch arms. 4.53 40-yard dash. Great explosibility. This is an athlete who I am in the 6th round. I am not going to get a starter in most cases. If I can get a backup linebacker and a special team stud, that helps me. I think Nick Martin can be that. Round 6, pick 211, Ajani Cornelius out of Oregon. This is O-line depth for me. I think he's a right tackle in the NFL. He could kick inside to guard. Doesn't have ideal arm length, but a lot of the ideal arm length guys are probably not going to be there in the 6th round. That's how it tends to go. He began the year pretty solidly, and had kind of gotten some top 75 buzz, et cetera. Was kind of mentioned the other Oregon OT is also very good. He kind of had some issues down the stretch. 11 pressures in his final 2 games were the majority of what he allowed this past season. But I think at right tackle / right guard, had 34 inch arms in his pro day. I think that fits what the Cowboys typically like. Round 7, pick 217. I picked Craig Woodson because he was a Dallas Day guy. And I think, again, this fits what I'm looking for with my later round picks. He can play either safety spot. He has plenty of speed and a lot of special teams value. And in the 7th round, that's what I'm realistically aiming for here. 6 foot, 201, and a 4.45 40-yard dash. Good testing overall. 5 interceptions his past 3 years. Is an older player. He just turned 24. But I think as a backup special teamer, that fits. Round 7, pick 239, Kalel Mullings out of Michigan. If I'm going to double dip at a spot, the spot I double dip has to help out as a backup and as a reserve. And a running back turned linebacker who is an early down only guy fits very well with the earlier pick of TreVeyon Henderson. He can at least be, because he played linebacker in college, a core special teamer. And that type of guy as RB3 / RB4, honestly, it could not be more of a polar opposite than Deuce Vaughn. This is a big, burly guy, helps on special teams. It's not really Deuce Vaughn's game. Let's recap my perfect mock draft for the Cowboys. I traded down in round 1 to get an extra 4th round pick and still got Tetairoa and McMillan. It's the purpose of being perfect. Of course I get the guy I wanted. Round 2, pick 38, a trade up to go get TreVeyon Henderson because I think he is the perfect back for the Cowboys. Round 3, pick 76, Jacob Parrish, inside-outside flex. I need a corner out of Kansas State. Round 4, pick 118, Jordan Phillips, defensive tackle out of Maryland, really helping out as a nose, which I badly need. Elijah Roberts to begin the 5th round, 149, the edge from SMU. Unique body type, but offers a good opposite style of play across from Micah Parsons. Nick Martin, linebacker, Oklahoma State. Special teams value there, speedy but undersized. Round 6, pick 211, Ajani Cornelius out of Oregon, giving me some offensive line depth. Round 7, 217, Craig Woodson, again, special teams depth, safety from Cal. Then Kalel Mullings, the running back out of Michigan, former linebacker turned running back. That guy can make my roster as my last back. So grade this Cowboys mock draft for me. A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know in the comments section of today's show.